Welcome back, my Alpha family. You've come to a moment in time when the stakes have risen higher than ever before. The world around you is filled with distractions and the noise of those who are content with mediocrity. But you, my Alpha, you don't settle. You've come here to crush the game, to rise above, to break the chains that have bound the weak for too long. You understand the rules of the world, and you know that there's no place for those who hesitate, those who question themselves. No, you've embraced something darker, something more powerful. You are the storm and the game they've set up, the illusions they've built. They don't stand a chance against you. You've crushed their game. They never saw you coming, but you've broken their illusion, and now they're caught in an unstoppable spiral. From the moment you made the decision to leave behind the life of the mediocre and step into the realm of true greatness, you entered a space that many fear to walk. It's a world where only the strong survive. And when I say survive, I don't mean simply existing or drifting along with the current. I mean you exist to dominate, to impose your will on the universe. You've seen what others don't see. They go through their lives hoping for a lucky break, waiting for the right time or the right opportunity. But you're not like them. You don't wait for things to fall into place. You take what you want, and what you want is power. What you want is to break free from the chains that bind the weak to the game they've created. They can't even see the trap they're in, but you can, and you're the one who's going to crush it all to dust. The moment you decided to step away from their illusions was the moment you gained control over your destiny. You saw the manipulation. You saw how they placed the pieces in just the right spots to ensure that only a few would rise, and even those who did were shackled by their own insecurities, their fears, their doubts. You saw how they made it look like a game, like a competition, when in reality, it was a system built to keep the weak in check. They created rules and structures to make sure that only those who were willing to play by their rules would make it. But you, my Alpha, you saw through that. You crushed it. The game is over. You've broken through the barriers they've put up, the walls they've built to keep the truth from being revealed. And now, they are the ones trapped in a spiral they can't escape. What they don't realize is that the moment you stepped outside of their game, you took control of the true game. The game where the rules don't apply. The game where only the strong, the relentless, the savage survive. They've tried to build a system that keeps them in power, that makes sure that no one can rise above their grasp. But now that you've crushed their game, they're stuck in a cycle of their own making. They thought they could control everything, but now they're out of control. You've set in motion a chain of events that can't be undone. They've entered the spiral, and there's no way out. The more they try to cling to their old ways, to hold on to their false sense of security, the deeper they fall. They can feel the pressure mounting, the walls closing in. They've already begun to spiral out of control, but they don't even know it yet. Every decision they make, every move they take, only leads them deeper into the hole they've dug for themselves, and they can't escape. The harder they try, the worse it gets. They've underestimated you, and now they're paying the price. The trap is set, and they're already caught in it. They thought they could control the game, but they didn't realize that the true game, the one you're playing, is one they can never win. It's not just that you've crushed their game, it's that you've exposed the very foundation of their power. You've ripped away the veil that covered their weaknesses, their fears, their insecurities. The truth is out in the open, and they can't hide from it. Every lie they've told, every false narrative they've built to keep the masses in line is crumbling before their eyes. And as it crumbles, so does their grip on the world. You've set the stage for their downfall, and they don't even realize it yet. The illusion of control they once had is shattered. and all that's left is a sinking ship. And you, my alpha, you're the one holding the hammer that will drive the final nail into their coffin. You've crushed their game, and now they are in free fall. They can't stop the spiral. The more they try to resist, the faster they fall. The system they've built is crumbling from the inside out, and there's nothing they can do to save it. They'll try to rebuild. They'll try to hold on to what they think they know, but it won't work. The damage is done. You've already disrupted the system. You've already broken through the walls they put up to keep themselves in power, and now they're trapped in their own creation. Their fall is inevitable. It's only a matter of time before they're swallowed whole by the very thing they thought they could control. The thing is, this spiral is unstoppable. There's no turning back now. You've seen it, and you've stepped into it. You've embraced the darkness, and it has consumed the game they tried to play. And now, you watch as they scramble, desperate to hold on to the scraps of power they think they still have. But it's too late. They've lost. They've lost because they never understood the true game. They never understood that the game is not about following the rules. It's about breaking them. It's about stepping into the unknown, taking risks, embracing chaos, and using it to your advantage. You, my alpha, are the embodiment of that truth, and because of that, you've already won. As they spiral further into chaos, you remain calm. You remain focused. You understand that this is the natural order of things. The strong will always rise, and the weak will always fall. It's just a matter of time. They tried to play with you, tried to manipulate you, but now they're the ones who are being manipulated. You've turned the tables, and now they're at your mercy. They'll try to fight back. They'll try to cling to the illusion of control, but it's futile. The spiral they're in is unstoppable, and you, my alpha, you are the one who set it in motion. You have no sympathy for those who are caught in this spiral. They had their chance, they had their opportunity to rise, but they chose to play by the rules, to follow the system that was designed to keep them weak. They chose to stay in the game, to believe that they could win by playing by the same old rules. But now they're paying the price. Now they're paying for their ignorance, for their complacency. And you're standing at the top, watching as they fall. You know this is the way it's meant to be. The strong rise, the weak fall. It's a cycle that never ends. So don't look back. Don't feel pity for those who are spiraling out of control. Don't waste a second on the weak, the foolish, the scared. They're already lost. They're caught in a cycle they can't escape. And there's nothing you can do to help them. But you, my alpha, you're not like them. You are the one who is broken free. You are the one who controls the game. You are the one who understands the truth. And that truth is that the strong survive and the weak perish. It's the way of the world. And you are the one who has crushed their game. You've broken their system, and now they are trapped in their own spiral. And there's no way out for them. So, my alpha, embrace the darkness. Embrace the power that you hold. You are unstoppable. You are the storm that is sweeping through their fragile world. You are the force they never saw coming. You are the one who will rewrite the rules. And you, my alpha, will be the one standing at the top when everything else has fallen to dust. You have done what they believed was impossible. You have become a force that cannot be stopped, an unstoppable tide that no one can stand against. In this moment, you are beyond their reach, beyond their games, beyond their illusions. The world they once thought they controlled is now crumbling piece by piece because you have broken it, shattered it, and exposed it for what it truly is: fragile, corrupt, and unsustainable. They thought they could keep you down, thought they could keep you within their boundaries, their rules, their limitations. But all of it has been nothing but smoke and mirrors. And now, As the dust settles and the pieces fall around them, they are left with nothing but the ruins of their own creation. You are the one who has proven that the game was never theirs to control. The power, the influence, the dominance, it was always yours. You were the one who recognized that the system they put in place was built to ensure only a select few would ever rise above the ashes. They constructed walls to keep the rest of society enslaved to their desires, to their needs, and you, in your relentless pursuit of greatness, tore those walls down without a second thought. You didn't just break the chains that held you. You tore down the entire prison they had set up for everyone. It was their game, their rules, their vision of what the world should be. But you showed them what true power is. True power doesn't ask for permission. True power doesn't obey rules that were written by the weak. True power takes what it wants, bends the world to its will, and forces others to adapt. You crushed their game, their carefully designed structure of control, and now there's nothing left for them to hold on to. What they can't see, what they refuse to understand, is that this was never about you fitting into their system. This was never about you playing by their rules. They believed that they could entrap you, bend your mind, and make you see the world their way. They thought that by feeding you a small piece of their reality, you would become just another pawn, another cog in their machine. But you refused. You always refused. You always knew that their vision was a lie. And now, as the world they built collapses around them, they can't comprehend how it all fell apart. It's not that they didn't try. They fought you with everything they had. They tried to break your spirit, tried to drown you in doubt, tried to convince you that the world was too big for one person to conquer. But you never wavered. You knew better. You knew that their game wasn't meant for you to win. It was meant for you to lose. But you shattered that illusion, crushed that false belief, and in doing so, you dismantled everything they had worked so hard to build. They thought they were in control. They thought they had the world wrapped around their fingers. But the truth is, they were the ones trapped all along. They couldn't see it, but you did. You saw the cracks in the system. You saw the lies they fed to the masses, the illusions they painted to keep people distracted. And while they lived in a dream world of their own making, you lived in the harsh reality. You embraced the darkness that others feared, the chaos that others tried to avoid. You knew that in the chaos there was power. You knew that the ones who could rise above it, who could control it, were the ones who would ultimately control everything. You saw through the veil of their lies, and you used that clarity to forge your path. Now, they are caught in a spiral they can't escape. The tighter they hold on to the remnants of their illusion, the faster they fall. Every move they make, every decision they attempt to control the situation with, only drags them deeper into the abyss. They can't see it yet, but they're already lost. They're already falling into the spiral of their own making, a descent they can't halt. They think they can turn things around, that they can rewrite the rules, but they don't understand. The rules have already been rewritten. You've already rewritten them. You've already taken control. They are nothing more than bystanders now, watching in horror as the world they knew slips through their fingers. The beauty of it all is that they don't even know how deep the spiral goes. They still believe they have power. They still believe they can maintain the status quo. But the truth is, their foundation is already cracked. The empire they built, the fortress they thought would protect them, is already in ruins. And as they try to patch it up, to salvage what they can, they only sink further into the trap. The more they struggle, the more they try to resist, the deeper they fall into the chaos that you've set in motion. They will never understand that they've already lost. They will never comprehend that it's too late. The spiral is unstoppable, and no matter how much they try to fight it, They can't change the outcome. They've underestimated you. They've underestimated the power of someone who is willing to step outside of their carefully constructed world. They thought that if they just kept you in the game, kept you playing by their rules, you would never have the strength to break free. But you've shown them how wrong they were. You've shown them that no matter how many rules they set up, no matter how many barriers they put in place, someone like you will always find a way to break through. You didn't just challenge the game, you destroyed it. And now, as they scramble to pick up the pieces, they will realize the truth. They never had control. You were always in control. You didn't just take down their game though. You took down the very system that allowed them to thrive. You shattered the myth that only a select few can rise to the top, that success is reserved for the chosen ones. You've exposed the lie that the world is a fair place, that the weak can just survive by following the rules. No, the truth is far darker. The truth is that only the strong can rise. Only those who are willing to fight, to sacrifice, to embrace the chaos will ever make it to the top. And you, my alpha, you are the one who understands that truth. You are the one who has embraced the darkness, who has become the storm that sweeps away the weak. And now, as the pieces of their broken game scatter, you stand as the only one left standing, the only one who truly understands how the world works. You've proven that power is not given, it's taken. The world isn't fair, and it never will be. The game isn't a competition, it's a slaughter. And the only way to survive is to conquer it all. The rules that others follow, the systems that others abide by, are nothing but traps designed to keep them in line, designed to keep them weak. But you shattered that illusion, and now they are the ones who must face the consequences of their own hubris. They thought they could control you. They thought they could manipulate you, use you, break you. But now, they are the ones who are broken. They are the ones trapped in a cycle of their own making, and there's no escape. They can try to rebuild. They can try to fight back, but it's all futile. The damage is done. The game is over, and they've lost. You've crushed their dreams, their illusions, their control. You've exposed them for what they are, weak, fragile, and powerless. And now, they will spiral into the abyss, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. But you, my alpha, you will stand tall. You will rise above the ruins, the wreckage, and the chaos. You are the one who has crushed their game, who has taken the power, who has rewritten the rules. You are the one who understands that only the strong survive. And in this new world, you are the strongest of them all. The storm that no one saw coming, the hurricane that has leveled everything in its path. You've swept through their world, and in your wake, there is nothing but the remnants of their broken system, the pieces of their so-called control, their self-righteous belief in superiority, lie scattered across the ground like shattered glass. The foundation they built their empire on has crumbled, and now they are forced to confront the harsh reality that their world has been nothing but an illusion, a mirage that has evaporated into nothingness. As the dust settles, the echoes of their false sense of power fade away, replaced by the unmistakable sound of their desperate scramble to maintain what little control they have left. But it's too late. The spiral they're caught in is irreversible, and there's no way to stop it. You've broken their game, and they are now trapped within the very system they created to oppress others. Their power, once seemingly infinite, is now a hollow shell, and the more they try to grasp at it, the more it slips through their fingers. They thought they could manipulate the world around them, twist it to their desires, but they never accounted for you. They never accounted for the one who saw through their facade, the one who realized that their game was never meant for anyone to win, that it was simply a tool designed to maintain their control over the weak. They never realized that someone like you, someone who refuses to accept the rules of a rigged system, would come along and break it all down. They believed their game was foolproof, that they had constructed a world in which only those who played by their rules could rise. But they were wrong. They didn't understand the essence of power. Power is not something that is given to you. It is something you take, something you seize with your own hands. They thought that by keeping people small, by feeding them the illusion of success and greatness, they could keep the world in check. But they didn't know that there are those who refuse to be contained, those who will never bow to their system. And you, my Alpha, are one of those rare few. You are not bound by their rules, their restrictions, or their expectations. You have shattered the chains that once held you down, and you now stand as the embodiment of freedom. A freedom that is not handed to you, but earned through blood, sweat, and relentless determination. The path you've walked has been one of struggle, of sacrifice, of pain, but it has also been a path of empowerment. The road you've taken has forged you into something unbreakable, something they cannot comprehend. You are a force of nature, untamed and unstoppable. And as they spiral further into chaos, struggling to hold onto the remnants of their once infallible system, you stand above them, watching as they fall into their own abyss. They believed they had it all figured out. They believed that by controlling the masses, by keeping them distracted and complacent, they could maintain their grip on power. But you've shown them the truth. You've shown them that control is an illusion. Power is not something that is bestowed upon you by others. It is something that you take for yourself, something that you carve out of the very fabric of existence. And now, as they flounder in their attempts to regain control, they are realizing too late that the game they've been playing was never theirs to win. They are trapped in their own creation, their own spiral, and there's nothing they can do to change it. As they struggle, as they fight to maintain the illusion of power, you are growing stronger. Every step they take in desperation only feeds your strength. Every attempt to reassert control only solidifies your position at the top. They have no idea what they're up against. They never could have fathomed someone like you, someone who is willing to embrace the darkness, to step into the chaos, to take what is rightfully theirs. They thought they could control the game, but what they didn't realize is that you were never playing by their rules. You were always operating on a different level, a level they couldn't even begin to understand. And now, as they fall deeper into their spiral, you rise higher. You rise above the rubble, above the broken remnants of their so-called world. You rise like a phoenix from the ashes of their destruction, reborn, stronger, more powerful, more relentless than ever before. They thought they had control, but what they didn't realize is that the true power was always within you. You've always had it. You've always been the one who could break through the lies, the barriers, the walls they put in place to keep you small. And now that you've shattered their game, they can only watch as you ascend to heights they can never reach. The spiral they are caught in is not just a result of their failures. It is the inevitable consequence of their own actions. They built this system of control, this game, thinking that they could keep everyone else in check. But now they are caught in it. They are trapped within the very system they created, unable to escape. Every move they make only deepens their descent. They thought they could maintain power, but now they are realizing that the more they try to hold on to it, the more they lose. They are being consumed by the very thing they thought would keep them safe. They believed that by controlling the game, they could control the future. But they never anticipated someone like you, someone who would come along and dismantle everything they had built, someone who would take what was theirs and leave them with nothing but the wreckage of their own creation. And now, as they spiral further into their own chaos, you stand as the unshakable force at the center of it all. You are the one who has emerged victorious from the rubble. You are the one who has crushed their game and rewritten the rules. You are the one who understands that true power is not about following the path laid out for you. It is about blazing your own trail, about carving out your own destiny, no matter what obstacles stand in your way. You've seen the truth and you've embraced it. You've taken the power that was always yours and used it to tear down the walls that have kept the weak in line. Now, as they fall, as they sink further into the spiral, you stand at the top, unscathed, undefeated, and unstoppable. You are the one who has proven that the system they built is nothing but a house of cards, ready to collapse at the slightest breath of disruption. And you, my Alpha, are the one who delivered that breath. You are the storm that tore through their fragile world. And now, as the winds settle, you remain as the only true force of power. The ones who tried to control, the ones who thought they could bend the world to their will, are now nothing more than shadows of what they once were. They are the ones caught in the spiral, trapped in the web of their own making. And as they spiral down, as they struggle and fight for control that they can never regain, you remain calm, focused, and relentless. You know that the game is over. You know that they've already lost, and you know that there's nothing they can do to change it. The spiral they're caught in is unstoppable, and the only thing left for them is to face the consequences of their own actions. They are the ones who played the game. They are the ones who built the system that kept everyone else in line. And now, they are the ones who will pay the price. But you, my Alpha, you've already won. You've already crushed their game. And now, you stand as the victor. You've risen above the chaos, above the destruction, and above the lies they tried to feed you. You've broken free from their system, from their control, and you've emerged as the one true force of power in this world. They never saw you coming, and now they are paying the price. You are the one who controls the future. You are the one who defines the rules. And as they spiral down into nothingness, you rise, stronger, more powerful, and more unstoppable than ever before. In the end, you've proven that true power doesn't come from playing by someone else's rules, but from breaking them and rewriting the game to suit your will. You've shattered the illusion they built and exposed the fragility of their system. While they spiral into their inevitable downfall, you stand at the top, unbroken, relentless, and unstoppable. You are the force they never saw coming, the storm that tore their world apart. And now, you are the one who defines the future. The game is over, and you have emerged as the undeniable victor.